Here we have two functions, a function f, which maps x to 3x minus 1, with x belonging to the reals as the domain. We have a second function, g, which maps x to x squared, with the domain x belongs to the reals. This function is called f of g of x. If we consider f of g of x in more detail, we can see the x is on the right, so we'll need to go in this direction to go through the functions. X is the input, or domain, and it will first go through g, and then go through f. If we consider a diagram of this situation, so we have our functions represented by calculating machines, then x is the input, and first goes into function g. Function g is x squared, so it squares the input. The output from this then goes into f, which is a function that multiplies it by 3 and then subtracts 1. We then get output. X going into this function produces x squared as output. The x squared then goes into the f function, so we get 3 times the input, take away 1. Therefore the output is 3 times x squared minus 1, since x squared was the input. Fg of x then is 3x squared minus 1. To explain this second step further, let's consider this function in more detail. If we look at the function f is 3x minus 1. Whatever goes in, the input, call it anything, is multiplied by 3 and then has 1 subtracted. So if the word anything goes in, we get 3 times anything, take away 1. And that's why when the input was x squared, we did 3 times x squared, take away 1. Now let's consider g of f of x. This time the x will go through the f first, and then through the g. So the functions are done in a different order. If we take the same approach as before, and draw our two functions as calculating machines. We start with x. This goes in to the f function first. The output will then go through the g machine, and the output is 3x minus 1, since we put x into the function 3x minus 1. The g function squares its input. The input is 3x minus 1, so we get 3x minus 1 squared as the output. G of f of x then is 3x minus 1 squared. This time let's consider f of x. Adopting the same approach, drawing calculating machines, our input is x. It's going to go through the function f, and the output will be 3x minus 1. This will now be input for f again, since we're doing f of f. The output this time will be 3 times the input, take away 1. F of x then is 3 times 3x minus 1, take away 1. And expanding, this is 9x take 3 take away 1, which is 9x take away 4. Finally, let's consider f of g of 2. We're going to put 2 into the g function first, and then the output into the f function. The g function squares its input, so the output would be 4, and then f multiplies its input by 3 and subtracts 1. 3 fours are 12, take away 1 is 11, so f of g of 2 is 11.